Well, Australia's hospitality industry is crying out for help following the knee-jerk reaction of some state premiers who have slammed borders shut during what is normally the busiest period of the year for that industry. We're going to check in around the country to get a sense of how real Australians in real business have been affected. Now, first to Sydney, Publican and former Liberal MP Craig Laundy joins me now. Craig, thanks for your time. Tell us, you're in the hospitality industry, in the hotel industry, you employ hundreds and hundreds of Australians. How are you dealing with these random closures in your industry?
With uncertainty, Corey, and nice to be with you and Happy New Year. But the drama you've got in business, be it small, family or big, is you need to operate in a certain environment. But at the moment, we've got numbers changing ad hoc based on, and I understand this, based on cases that are breaking out. I've had 2 or 3 pubs closed for, the weekend before Christmas until this week. It's just a very uncertain time, and the only loser at the moment is, I think, twofold. At the moment, the federal government is stumping up and paying us JobKeeper, but they're the loser on that side in terms of supporting, but they need to. But as our profits decrease due to this, they don't get their tax income either. So at the moment, these state premiers making ad hoc decisions, and I'm blessed to be in New South Wales, where our premier has, is doing the real heavy lifting, be it on economic openings and conditions just on set areas, but also the heavy lifting on taking people back into Australia. She's at least having a red hot go at keeping the economy moving, which is a lot better than being in other states at the moment.
Yeah, but there are other losers in this, Craig. Of course, the staff who have the uncertainty. Maybe they get JobKeeper. That might be, very helpful to them. But, they don't know if they're going to be at work for a week or a month. How can they plan for a long term? And how can you as a businessman plan to invest and take on more people when you don't know what environment you're going to be facing next week or next month or next year?
Short answer is you can't, Corey. And this is the problem that Treasurer Frydenberg faces. What happens at this stage, JobKeeper is slated to end of March. You've got different conditions in different parts of not just New South Wales, around the country. And you've got political leaders, Queensland Premier Palaszczuk used COVID to get re-elected. We've now got Mark McGowan. I couldn't pick the bloke in a lineup until this week, where he's now standing with booklets in front of him with his name on it because there's a state election scheduled this year. And, this is the drama. You've got state politicians who are dead set Z graders deciding and using this and preaching to a state like New South Wales, which is doing the heavy lifting on how we should be doing things. You know what? I'm glad to see John Barilaro step up today and call it out as being very rich, because it is.
Yeah, it's been misused by many premiers around the country. And I want to head further north now to Queensland, where the tourism industry suffered another heavy hit following Premier Anastasia Palaszczuk's border closure. Today, she was unable to provide clarity on the future of this decision. Now, Zac Sarnecki is the director of Cairns Queen's Court Hotel and Seascape Holidays. He joins me now. Zac, tell me, how has this affected your business in the tourism hotspot of Cairns?
Corey, it's really not very good over here at all. We thought we were slowly starting to reach the point where we were going to recover. Bookings start to increase a little bit. There was a really nice period over Christmas and New Year's. And we thought, finally, after all of this time, there's going to be a silver lining. We're going to be able to pull through. And then here we go all over again. Rash decisions are made with the borders. And before you know it, we're getting cancellation after cancellation. And, Corey, the thing is, at the moment, what the people that are cancelling are telling us is they're actually not scared at all of the virus per se. They're willing to come up to Queensland. What they're really scared of are the premiers and what's going to happen to them when they come up here. Are they going to have to quarantine for 14 days and ruin their holiday? Are they going to get stuck here? Are they going to have to go home and quarantine for 14 days? And because we have no consistent approach, things change on a whim, and it literally changes within 24 hours. There is no consistency. There is therefore no confidence for people to want to come up here, spend their money and save places like Cairns. until we get some sort of nationalised approach and some sort of consistency and give the travelling public some confidence that they can make these plans to come on holidays and they will know what is going to change or what needs to happen when certain events occur that will cause changes to occur, we're just going to see endless cancellations and people aren't going to take the risk. They're just not going to come up.
Hey, Zac, wherever I go, business people tell me, if I saw the Premier, I'd tell them a thing or two. Well, here's your chance. You can stare down the barrel of the camera, and I guarantee Anastasia Palaszczuk's media people will see this tomorrow. So look at it. What's your message for the Premier of Queensland?
Look, my message is rather simple. Anastasia, please think about the people up here in Cairns. The election is over. You won the election. You got the votes out of Cairns. But now it really is time to deliver. Please stop playing politics. Please stop pandering just to those people that are scared and hiding under their tables. We appreciate that lives are precious. We need to do everything we can to save lives and to not put people at risk. But at the end of the day, you are causing a lot of problems. You are causing businesses to go out of business. You are causing employers to have to get rid of their employees. You are causing mass uncertainty with businesses and the travelling public at large, and you're not doing anybody any favours at the moment. I don't think any Premier is, with the exception of New South Wales. So where we're at the moment is, Anastasia, you need to talk to your colleagues. You need to get a national framework in place, and you all need to agree to stick to certain guidelines in terms of shutting borders or not shutting borders and stop doing things on a whim. You are literally killing us up here.
Well, that'll be in the media grabs tomorrow, I can guarantee it. But let's go to Victoria. And business owners in Melbourne's CBD have been left reeling after another delay in workers returning to the Central Business District. However, trade in other areas has seen an increase, and that makes some people happy. Now, Chrissy Mouse is the General Manager of Melbourne's Chapel Street Precinct. She joins me now. Chrissy, what are you hearing from the businesses in the CBD about the lack of workers there?
Well, they're envious of us, and thank you for having me today. The difference between Chapel Street Precinct and the CBD right now is that we are seeing record foot traffic. We have this incredible vibe on the street in Chapel Street right now. It's a resurgence for us. There's a community rallying behind us, and let's now think about the city in juxtaposition to that. You know, we still are hearing crickets there. We have this fear that people are not wanting to go back into the city. But, you know, about 2 k's down the road, Chapel Street is absolutely seeing a resurgence. And we are absolutely seeing new businesses. Again, different to the CBD, we've actually had 49 new businesses open up in the last 5 months. So in our precinct, which is South Yarra, Windsor and Prahran, and they're your iconic suburbs in Melbourne, we are seeing a boom time, you know, this lifestyle precinct. And then you cut to the CBD and you're just seeing Spinifex run down the street. And it is so sad for those businesses.
It's really a matter of, I guess, a two-speed economy, if I can use that terminology. We see it in the bricks and mortar businesses, in some retailers versus online retailers. We're now seeing it, but depending on where your location is. I know here in South Australia, there's a great deal of tourism going on in regional communities, but the CBD is dead as a doornail. So what would you like to see? I know you represent a specific group of traders, but do you think it's important that they reopen the CBD and get people back there to make the global business environment more sustainable rather than just pockets of it?
Oh, spot on. And yes, I represent 2,200 businesses in Chapel Street Precinct, but we need the whole economy working, and we can't just have pockets. And we've been so lucky that we haven't seen the immense damage that the CBD has done. But to your point, you're absolutely right. We need all of Victoria humming, and we'll all see the benefits. And I really believe that the CBD, people have set new habits, and it's going to be very hard for the CBD now to come back from what they're going through. And I don't believe that people are going to return to those CBD high towers. They don't want to be in that recycled air. And my concern is that Premier Daniel Andrews is absolutely killing the economy.